In this week's episode, we're going to find out how much the average single American needs for retirement. Let's get started. Hey there, this is Patrick King with Prana Wealth. On this channel, we show you how to retire well. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to check out our free retirement resources at pranawealth.com/resources. In last week's video, I detailed a hypothetical scenario to determine how much the average American would need to save to support their retirement living expenses. These averages were based upon the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Expenditures Survey. However, the survey focused on households, which had, on average, 1.7 persons in them. So what about single retirees? How much does the average single American need to save for retirement? Let's review similar scenarios as those in last week's video. And be sure to stay until the end to understand why single people need to start planning for retirement earlier. Of course, it's important to review our assumptions since that will directly affect the quality of our results. Just in my prior videos of this type, we're again taking a simple back-of-the-envelope approach towards these calculations. What we're doing here falls woefully short of a full financial plan. For simplicity, our first assumption is a retirement age of 65. This is the earliest age Medicare is available, so the costs of private health insurance should not apply in this case. It also matches the demographic data found in the BLS study. We'll again assume that inflation will be 3% and our expected portfolio returns are 7%, just as in our prior videos. If you think these are valid assumptions, let me know in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you. So what does the average single American spend in retirement? This is more difficult to answer since we must dive deeper into the data and make more assumptions. According to the BLS survey, Americans aged 65 and up spend on average $47,579 per year. However, this is for an average household with 1.7 people in it. So how do we adjust accordingly for a household of one? For our examples, I've divided all categories of expenses by 1.7 to reflect what one person would spend based upon these numbers. However, I am going to make an adjustment for housing. Housing costs aren't necessarily consumed on a per-person basis. In fact, a couple could live in the same space as a single person, although I suspect that's not always the case. As a starting point, we're going to assume that single retirees spend 80% of what the average household in the study spends on housing. With all of these adjustments, we arrive at living expenses of $31,680 per year, or $2,640 per month. Next, we need to make some assumptions about Social Security. According to the Social Security Administration, the average retirement benefit as of September 2021 is $1,515 per month. So we'll use this in our calculations. Finally, for portfolio income, we'll again use the 4% rule to determine what size portfolio our average single American retirees need to sustainably support their withdrawals. Again, while the 4% rule has its critics and limitations, it's perfect for our back-of-the-envelope calculations. Let's suppose that our retiree is turning 65 this month. Since retirement is happening right now, we do not have to account for future earnings or additional retirement savings. To find out what our hypothetical single retiree would need to withdraw from their portfolio, we'll first subtract their Social Security benefits from their total living expenses. This leaves us with a shortfall of $1,125 per month that must be filled by their investments. That's $13,500 per year. Using the 4% rule, we divide $13,500 by 4% to arrive at a total portfolio need of around $337,000. If our retiree has that much saved, then they're good to go. If not, they may want to consider delaying retirement. Instead of age 65, let's now assume our average single American retiree is 60. That gives them 5 more years to continue saving. But how much ground can they make up in that time? We'll make the exact same calculations as we did in the last example, but include growth and savings. We'll need to account for inflation in their living expenses as well. For retirement in 5 years, our retirees' living expenses jump to $3,060 per month, thanks to inflation. Thankfully, Social Security benefits do increase annually with a cost of living adjustment. For simplicity, we will assume Social Security payments increase at the rate of inflation. But that still leaves a shortfall of $1,304 per month that must come from their investments. Using the 4% rule, we find that our single retiree will now need around $391,000 in 5 years. Now let's assume that our single retiree has saved $225,000 for retirement. They've done a good job so far to save this much. Assuming they see 7% annual growth on their investments, they can expect their retirement portfolio to grow to around $316,000 in 5 years. However, that still leaves a difference of around $76,000 that our retiree will need to accumulate over the next 5 years to support the living expenses number that we estimated. Again, assuming 7% annual returns, they'll have to save $1,057 per month to hit their goal. That's over $12,000 per year in savings. This kind of savings number is possible, but it's not easy. Let's now assume that our single retiree is 55 instead of 60. If all else is equal, how would that affect the result? Inflation pushes the annual portfolio withdrawals from $1,125 per month today to $1,512 per month in 10 years. That's quite a jump due to inflation over that time, but maybe less than you would expect. Using the 4% rule, our single retiree will now need a portfolio of around $454,000 at retirement in 10 years. Assuming again that they have $225,000 earning 7%, their investments will grow to around $443,000 between now and retirement. However, we still have a difference of $10,955 between what they'll have and what they'll need. To make up for this shortfall, our retiree will now have to put away approximately $63 per month in retirement savings. That's $759 per year, an amount that's easily doable. Because of inflation, the amount a single person needs to save for retirement is greater than most people expect. Inflation is the key driver here. Over the years, our investments will need to work harder for us in order to fund a successful retirement. Unfortunately, for the average single American saving for retirement, starting as early as possible becomes very important. Since housing expenses, the biggest line item on almost all Americans' budgets, is not something that most single retirees can cut in half, single retirees have a greater portfolio need on a per-person basis than do couples. As the old saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So what do you think? Do these numbers sound reasonable to you? Let me know in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you. Hey, if you found this video helpful, please help me grow my channel by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to check out our free retirement resources at pranawealth.com/resources. And if you need help figuring out how much you'll need for retirement, then visit us at pranawealth.com to see if we're a good fit. We can and do work virtually with clients all across the US, and we're here to help you whenever you're ready. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.